Yo, what's up, traders? PC Monkey here with another Bitcoin video. In this video, we want to talk about Bitcoin, but first we want to talk about Dixie. Now, you guys remember, we've talked about Dixie a lot. I've talked about a bull flag forming, and then we talked about it's debating to the downside. Usually does that, come back up in the middle, and then goes up, right? But what happened is we debated, we come back up to it, we touched the resistance, but then we went back down. But then when we went back down, we picked it up heavily, and this is what we wanted to see. I mean, this wick here is like mamma mia. But nonetheless, guys, we could see Dixie gaining some more strength. And with this little move that we have here, this is a pennant, and the pennant could go either way right now. Could go up. It's actually a symmetrical triangle, and the difference between a symmetrical triangle and a pennant is usually inside the body of the main candle. So if we say this is the main candle, this big one is the main candle. All of these should be inside of this body, which they're not. So that's why we call this a symmetrical triangle. Symmetrical triangle, they usually tend to go to both sides. I mean, like any side is possible. Right now, it's showing a little bit downside. But if Dixie wants to hold this in any case, like, well, we could just even come back to 105 and retest this, then go back up. But if we hold this does not look good for the market itself. Now let's just jump into Bitcoin. Obviously, yesterday we didn't do much. I only end up adding a couple of more patterns to my chart. As you guys can see, this is a descending triangle. I drew the triangle, and the resistance is this yellow line. And right now I need to actually edit it. Hold on. Right there, boys. Let me get this off of our screen too. So as you guys could see, and what happened here, let me just do a little bit of zoom so you guys can see completely clear. Now inside of this descending triangle, and keep in mind these descending triangles, they tend to go down. All right, and it's literally playing to how it should be. We see a couple of 1 hours here. This 1 hour is inside of this body. All right, and even if you take a look at the volume, as you guys can see, this is a very low volume, and this one is very low volume, but the cells around here has more volume. So, and usually the descending triangle, when it gets to the bottom, it does a pretty good, move to the downside if it's valid. If it's not valid, then we're probably gonna do something like this and then go up. Now my up target's still the same at 28.1 or 27.9, and then if we go through that, then say hello to 29.4, and then well 30K and all the same. But I think 29.4 is where we will stop if there's a big if we wanna sweep that high, which I don't know, kind of pessimistic about it. But uh, what is important here, that yesterday when we were before the CPI, right, when the numbers came out, this was the sweep, this red candle. You guys could see, right? And after that, we came all the way down to here when, the Jerome Powell face showed up on the camera. He started talking, then we started to dump. And after the talking was done, then we regained it. So this just literally tells us a sweep, right? But here's what is important. First of all, we have a rising wedge instead of inside of this descending triangle. That was indicating that we're gonna go down, and we did go down, but we holded this parallel upwards channel. You guys could see we are still holding this. But one thing, guys, I've seen this before. So when a parallel channel is intact, you guys could see some even right here, we make these spiky moves, but when something like this happens, even right here, as you guys can see, we come back down and then we consolidate and then we hit it. But right now, it's like it tries to go up, it gets denied, tries to go up, it gets denied. And this is happening over and over. Yes, we hold it here, but is this the great hold? Because every time we hold it, as you guys could see, we moved up rather a little bit fast. I mean, this is a 1 hour candle, but right here we moved up. We moved up, but we didn't, keep the momentum. We essentially came back down. Right now, it's getting denied right at it. So we'll have to see. Is there a possibility that Dixie and BTC both go down? Of course. Of course, Dixie is not only against Bitcoin, it's against a lot of indices, and Bitcoin even is not included in it. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now let's take a look at the funding rates. Funding rates, we could see the lowest and the highest funding rates right here, since they're not, anything uh, correlated to BTC. I tried not to talk about them. So BTC is right now okay. The whole funding rate on the most coins are kind of negative and positive. It's like 50-50. All right, so this is the heat map that we're looking at. Yesterday we cleaned this area. As we could see, we have still some more around this area, and we do have this yellow cluster, which is the biggest one. It's 27,477, and it goes all the way up to 28K or below 28K. Now we could see it in here clearly that as we move up to 28K, around here there's a little bit of liquidity left, but the most liquidity is around at least to 27.8, or as you guys, as I said, 27.9. We could see we come here, but even right now, we have to take a look at the high leverages. I would say 15x and 100x is the highest leverage that maybe Bitcoin wants to clean out. So to the downside is 26.2, still stays. To the upside is 27.8. Will we clean this? I really don't know, guys. I mean, if Dixie holds, I don't think we're gonna clean that. Now let's take a look at the all exchanges here. So you could see again to 27.9 or 27.8, we get around 897, and we could say that 900 million. But I just want to be at my own level to 26.2 is going to be 789, around 800 million. So with this being the liquidations that we have, it could go either side, or it could clean both sides. Right now, and we could see that another heat map that everything essentially is going down and longers are getting liquidated left and right. Okay, back to the chart. One thing to mention, we from the start of this pump, which was again essentially around 24.8, right? We've touched it at 24.3. We got it at 24.8. Obviously, there was another pump at 24.8, as you guys remember that we went to that 31K. But nonetheless, we hold it at 24.8, and we never came back down to retest any of these levels. So there's only one thing that tells me that the only reason we didn't retest these is because when we come to retest them, we're just gonna slice through them like butter. So that's a possibility that I have at 23.8, 23.9 still intact. To the upside, I've talked about it. And with that being said, SPX really didn't, move that much yesterday. Okay, yeah, it dropped a little bit, but we expected way more drop than just 1.3. We expected at least 3% drop. So, and Bitcoin holded it. Really nothing much happening right now, and even NQ1, NQ1 is getting smashed because of the Dixie, right? So NQ1 dropped at least 2% here. That's a good drop. We're happy, and we'll see what happened today. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Just to conclude, all right, I just thought about Jerome Powell. He always said, just to conclude, and then he added that we know everything about the inflation rate we're doing. It hurts people, everything, economy, everything. Anyway, why am I even telling you this? Anyway, just to conclude, I think downward is possible from here. We could go sweep that weekly high, which is here. Let me show you guys. Yeah, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. This is the weekly high. So you guys can see 28.1. So we could come and sweep this and then get it back down. But if we want to go up, right? Because there was no interest rate increase. If we want to go up, I think we're gonna come and clean the lows, at least even maybe to 23.8, hold it here and then come back up. That's a possibility, guys. I'm not gonna rule that out, but really have to see how Bitcoin wants to react. It might just fail to retest this and literally crash down to that 20K gap. And with that being said, that's it. I don't have anything else to add. The upside sweep for me still, it's like 50-50. I'm keeping my eyes on Bitcoin right now to see if it wants to break up from here. As you guys can see, the lower time frame shows us another symmetrical triangle right here. It's forming, and these are 50-50. So it's like a triangle inside of a triangle inside of a triangle. And we'll have to see how this wants to break out. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we go down. Hopefully we go down, and see ya.